Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rosie and this is Rosie Sews Modern Vintage. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen the little vote that I put up on my stories asking people what they would like to hear from me next on my YouTube channel. So I gave people the choice of either the tutorial for my half circle skirt or to do a video of all the final things that I've got planned for the rest of this month and the rest of this year. So December makes and plans video was the one that won, so I'm going to do that this time, and then the half circle skirt tutorial will follow next week or the week after. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll show you what I've already made this month, which isn't loads, but that is mainly because one thing that I made was quite involved. So the first thing that I did was for Minerva. So I had some gifted fabric from them, and obviously everybody always says it, don't they? It was gifted in exchange for a blog post, which is the same for me. And I picked up something that was a little bit unusual. My husband thought I was completely crazy. He actually said to me, "I thought I know you after being married to you 17 years, but it turns out I don't, because I would never have thought you'd choose this fabric." So here it is. I mean, he's totally right. It's not vintage inspired in any way, shape or form, but there was just something about it that I just loved. Anyway, so I did my favourite, the Monetta, turned into a top, and I'm really pleased with it. It was my first time using a twin needle for my edging, so I was quite pleased with that for its first go. I got my twin needles from Wish, and I got 3 different sizes, and it cost £1 plus I think it was like 75p postage, which was obviously brilliant because, you know, I always love a bargain. So that was a real win, I think. I always do my own sort of tweaks with this pattern, so I make the sleeve slightly tighter because I find that can be quite loose otherwise, and then I extend the bodice by, I think I've done it 5 inches, but I always think to myself I should do it more, so next time I must remember to do, I think, more like 7 really, because it's still a little bit short. And the other thing I wanted to show you in this is something that I got recently, and that's these cute little sew-in labels with my logo on. I'm so chuffed with them. It was a lady that I came across on eBay, and it turns out that she's on Instagram and other places too, and she was happy to do my own design that I'd already come up with on Canva and just printed them onto these labels, and I think they're absolutely great. And I think I got something like 50 for £3.75 or something like that, so not expensive at all compared to some of the woven labels, which were a bit out of my budget. So yeah, so that was my first make of this month. And then the second thing that I've been working on, like I say, it's been quite a big project, but I did really love it. So that is my orange stretch cord Jenny dungarees. So I went for the pocket and I've gone for the full leg. And if you saw a previous vlog, I did talk about how I was sort of torn between doing the normal wide leg and the tapered leg, and a lot of people said that I should give the wide leg a go, and so I did, and actually I'm really pleased with it. I've kind of had to chop and change about with the shoes that I try it on with, because it just took a while to get the outfit right, but anyway, I'm pleased with it now. And the facings inside are so cute. That was some fabric that Laura, the Specky seamstress, gave to me when we did a little swap, and I've got the pockets in that as well. I really love this pattern. I think it's a fantastic fit for me because I'm quite narrow on the hip, and it seems to really fit me well without too many alterations, so that's really nice. And yeah, not really much to say on it really. I just really love the pattern. It does take a while to put together, although it's not difficult, it's just got a lot of stages, but I really recommend it, especially if you've perhaps not made dungarees before or not made trousers. These ones don't have a fly, they just have a side zip, so it's a good place to start. Yeah, I would definitely recommend that you give that a go. So that's the Jenny dungarees by Closet Case Patterns. So those are the 2 things that I've done this month. And these are now the things that I have got planned. So the first thing that I want to do is this, which you've probably seen on my Instagram when I've been raving about it, this All Seasons skirt by Now and Then, which is the pattern name, but you can actually find Now and Then patterns on Instagram and online under the name Till the Sun Goes Down. So I'll put a link to that down below. But this is a copy of like a 1930s style skirt, and I have actually made a start on this and I'm really liking it. It does seem to be really lovely, and I'm making it using this gorgeous stretch jersey which I got from Jay at the Fabric Edit. Again, an absolute steal. I think this was £4 a metre, and it just seems to be coming up really nicely, so I'm really pleased with that. The next thing I want to make is the Kalle shirt, which I have not made before, so this is new to me as well. I've traced out this pattern and I spent so long tracing it I didn't really concentrate properly. I've ended up giving myself a bad back, which is my own fault. But what I want to do is the cropped version with a collar, but I've just lengthened it by 12 centimetres because I just want it that little bit longer so I can tuck it in. And I'm going to make it with this really beautiful fabric that again was another Minerva fabric, and it's just got lots of people on it. Very unusual. It reminds me of the Matchstick Men artist Lowry, some of his paintings. But anyway, I thought with the got quite a lot of mustard in it, so I thought that might go really nicely with the skirt that I'm making. Which now brings me to another thing that I wanted to tell you about. From the new year, I'm going to start a new series. So once a month I'm going to be reviewing a sewing pattern that I think would work really well in a modern or a vintage style wardrobe, and also reviewing a fabric company. I've been really fortunate to have had some companies offer me some fabric in exchange for a review on Instagram or YouTube, and also some pattern companies have done the same. So I don't want you to think that I'm just sort of trying to advertise to you all the time, but I thought it would be really nice to use this opportunity to review different patterns and talk about how the different companies compare and how their instructions compare and the sizing and things like that. So my sort of entry for this for January is going to be that skirt and also this blouse. And I've got all sorts of exciting ones lined up for February, March and April, and I've had to stop myself from planning anything more because otherwise I should get too overwhelmed. But before we get into January, there's some other stuff that I want to get done. So that skirt and blouse. I've also promised my daughter that I will do her a half circle skirt like the red check one that you will have seen on one of my previous vlogs and also on Instagram. She has chosen this lovely turquoise tartan from Fabricland, which has got black and white in it as well. So again, this is such an easy pattern to make, and because my daughter is quite fussy with having clothes made for her, which I don't blame her because I used to hate having clothes made for me when I was a child, but because she's quite fussy, I wanted to do something she'd really like. So she picked the fabric, she picked the style that she wanted, and so I'm going to use this fabric to film my tutorial to be released later on this series. But yeah, so I'm excited to make that for her. Right, now I think I'm being quite ambitious considering we're nearly to the middle of the month of December already, and I've already set myself 2.5 projects for the month. But the other two I'm thinking might be quite quick pattern makes, so I might get time for these. Another thing that I wanted to make was the Astoria sweater from Seamwork. I don't know if you've come across Seamwork. It's attached to Collect Patterns, and you can subscribe to Seamwork. I think the cheapest subscription is $7 a month, which works out about £5. But I got a Black Friday offer and I was able to join to their premium membership, which is 2 free patterns per month and access to all their online magazines and all their online videos and tutorials and things. And I got that for $7 a month, whereas that's normally $9. So I thought I'm just going to join for maybe 1 or 2 months just to download some of the patterns and see how I get on. So the Astoria is the first one that I downloaded, and I've got this really nice ribbed jersey which has got some fluff on it which was a present again from Laura, the Specky seamstress, when we met up and did our fabric swap. And I've been dying to use this because it's really nice and soft but not too thick, so I thought that might be a nice kind of layering piece that I could wear under my pinafore dresses and my dungarees and stuff, but also might look nice dressed up a bit more. So yeah, it's got quite a chunky rib. I'm going to give that a go with the Astoria sweater. I've heard a few things about the Astoria, that it comes up quite small, and somebody I was looking at on Instagram this week was saying that the wrists came up really small. So if you've got any comments to make about the pattern that you can give me advance warning on what I should expect, please do comment below, because I'm kind of a bit nervous about what size to choose. So any advice would be gratefully received. And finally, if I've still got time at the end of the month, I am planning to make a Tilly and the Buttons Freya top. There seems to be a craze of Freyas. People who make Freya tops, they seem to make like 10 or 20 of them. So I know that it will probably be a very useful thing in my wardrobe because everybody seems to love them, although I've never made one myself. And this is the fabric that I'm going to use. This is also from Jay at the Fabric Edit. This is a ribbed jersey in a lovely mustard stripe, and I'm trying to remember the price of this, but I think it was £3 a metre. So I've got 1.5 metres here, I think. Oh yeah, I've written it down, 1.5 metres. So I've got plenty for a Freya. I'd really like to, if I got enough, to do the frill that is in the Tilly Buttons stretch book to put on top of the Freya bodice. So I might give that a go depending on how much time and how much fabric I've got. That is it from me today. I can't stay any longer because I've got to get sewing. I've got so much to do. I hope you have a great rest of this month, and if I don't speak to you before, hopefully I will see you in the new year. Thanks so much for subscribing and for commenting and liking all my videos. If you have not already, please do subscribe, and I will see you very soon. Thanks, bye.